There are questions in life that stop us in our tracks, questions that force us to look inward and examine not only our desires but the way we value the people around us. One of the most complicated of those questions is this: is it acceptable to date a friend's ex, especially when we imagine the relationship might one day lead to marriage? It is a question that reaches into loyalty, integrity, love, timing, and the unspoken agreements we hold within friendship. It is a question that requires honesty, maturity, and courage. To even entertain the question means something has already begun stirring inside you. It means you've noticed someone. It means the person who once belonged to someone else in your circle has stepped into your emotional space, maybe gently, maybe unexpectedly, and you find yourself wondering if love can be redirected, if affection can find a new home, and if the bonds of friendship can survive such a shift. It means the possibility of something real is present. And real possibilities often call for real clarity. Before we talk about whether something is acceptable, we have to talk about what acceptance even means in relationships. Because acceptance is not just about whether the world nods in approval. Acceptance is not about public opinion or the silent court of friends who may whisper their judgments. Acceptance is an internal agreement between your values and your actions, an alignment between who you want to be and what you choose to do. And when you are dealing with matters of the heart, that alignment becomes even more crucial. Every friendship operates on a foundation of trust. Some friendships are deeply rooted with years of shared memories. Others are lighter, intertwined by convenience or proximity. Some friendships carry heavy emotional deposits, moments of vulnerability, secrets that were trusted, tears that were shared. Others stay at the surface, comfortable but not deeply bonded. Understanding the nature of the friendship in question is essential, because not all friendships carry the same expectations. There are friendships where dating a friend's ex would feel like betrayal. There are friendships where it would feel complicated but survivable. And there are friendships where it simply would not matter. The layers of loyalty vary, and so does the emotional history. But even so, when we speak of exes, we speak of history, and history carries energy. Even if two people are no longer together, the heartbreak, the healing, the memories, the unresolved feelings, or even the indifference around that past relationship can influence everything. But let's ask something deeper. What if the person you are considering has the potential to be your life partner? What if this is not casual? What if this is not a fleeting interest? What if this is someone whose presence brings you peace, whose mind challenges you, whose values align with yours, someone whose whisper feels like home? What if this is someone you truly believe could be your future spouse? Should you turn away from something that profound because of a past connection that no longer exists? Life has a way of crossing paths for reasons we cannot always explain. Sometimes connections blossom in unexpected spaces. Sometimes the person you are meant to build a life with arrives through the doorway of someone else's history. And while that can feel uncomfortable, it does not automatically make it wrong. What matters is the intention behind it. What matters is the respect with which you handle it. What matters is that you do not become careless with hearts that trusted you. If you truly care for the friend who once dated this person, then the first step is not to pursue the relationship in secret. It is not to test the waters behind closed doors. It is not to allow something to grow in the shadows. Because love that begins in secrecy tends to carry shadows with it. It begins with guilt, conflict, and confusion. It robs you of the freedom to explore the relationship openly and with dignity. Transparency is key, even when it is uncomfortable. Especially when it is uncomfortable. And so the real question becomes, can you approach your friend with honesty? Can you say, with sincerity and humility, that you have developed genuine feelings for someone from their past? Can you make space for their reaction, whatever it may be? Can you honor their feelings even if those feelings are complicated or painful? Because if love is to have a clean beginning, it must begin with integrity. Some friendships will understand. Some friends will say they have moved on completely. Some will even wish you well. Others may struggle. They may feel blindsided or hurt. They may need time to process. And that is okay. We cannot demand comfort from others. We can only offer clarity, kindness, and patience. You cannot control how your friend feels, but you can control the respect with which you handle the situation. If your friend cannot accept it, you have to be willing to ask yourself another question: what has more long-term significance? A friendship that may or may not survive this change, or a potential marriage with someone who may be the right partner for the rest of your life. This is not about choosing one person over another in a careless way. It is about acknowledging that love, real love, is not something you can easily cast aside. Marriage is not a decision built on convenience. It is a decision built on purpose, connection, dedication, and shared destiny. But consider something else as well. Love is not a justification for hurting people. If pursuing the relationship will destroy trust, if the friend's connection to you is woven deeply into your daily life, if the emotional fallout would create long-lasting damage, you must ask yourself whether timing matters. Sometimes waiting is the difference between chaos and calm. Sometimes giving your friend space to heal, grieve, or distance themselves makes the path clearer. Time has a way of softening what is sharp. Yet even as you consider all these angles, one truth remains. You deserve love that is honest, stable, and deeply aligned with your values. You deserve to be with someone who sees you clearly, loves you fully, and chooses you intentionally. And that person may not always come from the cleanest circumstances. Life is human. Life is messy. Life is imperfect. Beautiful stories often emerge from complicated beginnings. But complications do not have to become destructive. They become destructive only when handled without thought. Only when driven by impulse instead of intention. Only when the heart takes shortcuts around integrity. When you handle the situation with care, with communication, with maturity, you allow everyone involved to move forward in a way that preserves dignity. Ask yourself what marriage means to you. Marriage is not just about romance. It is about partnership. It is about choosing someone in the quiet moments as much as in the bright ones. It is about standing with someone not only in celebration but in challenge. If the person you care for has the qualities that matter in a lifelong union, then their past relationship with your friend does not erase their potential to be your future. The question is not whether the past exists. The question is whether the past still holds power. People date. People break up. They move on. And sometimes the very person who once belonged to someone else becomes the person who fits your life perfectly. Do you deny yourself that gift because of fear? Because of judgment? Because of expectations that were never clearly spoken? Or do you walk forward, respectfully, thoughtfully, with courage? But you must be prepared for every outcome. The friend may support you. The friend may distance themselves. The friend may surprise you with grace or with disappointment. You cannot script their reaction. But you can prepare your heart to accept whatever comes, knowing you acted honorably. And if the friendship changes, it does not mean you have failed. It simply means life has seasons. Some relationships remain, some evolve, some conclude. Growth does not always happen without loss. Yet love, real love, is extraordinarily rare. When it appears, you must approach it with both reverence and responsibility. You must ask yourself not only what your heart wants, but who you want to be while pursuing it. Do you want to be someone who hides or someone who stands in truth? Do you want to be someone who chooses connection at the expense of loyalty, or someone who finds a way to honor both? Do you want to live a life shaped by fear or by courage? At the end of the day, the acceptability of dating a friend's ex is not a question society can answer for you. It is a question of character. It is a question of timing. It is a question of respect. And it is a question of love. You must weigh the friendship, the past relationship, the emotional terrain, the sincerity of your feelings, and the potential future you envision. And then you must choose. Choose with honesty. Choose with clarity. Choose with empathy. And choose with vision. Because no one else will live the consequences but you. There will always be people who judge from the outside. People who do not understand your heart. People who reduce your story to gossip or assumption. But the people who matter will pay attention to your integrity, not the noise around your choices. The people who matter will see the way you navigate the situation, the respect you give, the maturity you bring. And the person you hope to build a life with deserves that version of you. The version who moves with intention, not impulsivity. The version who communicates instead of hiding. The version who knows that love is only as strong as the principles beneath it. So is it acceptable to date a friend's ex if marriage may be the destination? It can be. It can be acceptable when pursued with honor. When approached with openness. When carried with sensitivity. When it grows from sincerity instead of selfishness. When you are willing to risk discomfort to build something authentic. When you value transparency over secrecy. When you allow everyone involved the dignity of truth, it becomes acceptable when it is done with maturity. Not because love justifies all things, but because integrity shapes all things. So take a breath, sit with your thoughts, reflect deeply, seek clarity before action, and then move forward with courage. Not the reckless kind of courage that ignores consequences, but the steady kind that considers every heart involved and still chooses honesty. Love is not always convenient. Sometimes it demands bravery. Sometimes it asks you to trust the path even when the map is blurry. Sometimes it calls you to step into territory that tests who you are. But that is the nature of meaningful relationships. They require something from you. They ask for responsibility, vulnerability, and conviction. And if the relationship you seek has the potential to grow into a marriage rooted in trust, commitment, and shared purpose, then your effort to pursue it with integrity will matter more than how it began. The beginning may be complicated, but the journey ahead can still be beautiful. Remember this truth: life is not about choosing the easiest path. It is about choosing the path that aligns with your values and your future. And love, the kind worth building a life around, is always worth thoughtful consideration, honest conversation, and courageous intention. So ask yourself what your heart is telling you. Ask yourself what your values demand. Ask yourself what kind of partner you want to be, what kind of friend you hope to remain, and what kind of life you want to build. And then walk forward with clarity. Not in fear, not in guilt, but in purpose. Because the question is not simply whether it is acceptable to date a friend's ex. The deeper question is whether you can navigate that journey in a way that reflects the best version of yourself. And if you can, then perhaps the path ahead, though complex, may lead you to the place your heart was meant to find. Take your time, reflect, and choose wisely. Your future may depend on it.